Hey, I'm Decathlon Gamer. Welcome back to Draft Day Sports Pro Basketball 2020, episode number 27. We're in the off season, and it has happened. After a long hiatus, moving to Memphis, the Vancouver Grizzlies are back to the NBA. Last time they played was the conclusion of the 2001 season, but Vancouver was too large of a market to be let down. And after the Raptors claimed their first NBA championship, the city of Vancouver was eager to get back in on the action. And following the return of the Team 2 nearby Seattle, the rivalry resumes. Likewise, the city that never sleeps, the city that drains your wallet, Las Vegas, after the success of hockey and football coming back to the area, or coming to the area, Las Vegas gets an expansion team in the Aces playing at T-Mobile Arena, aka MGM, and here we are, ready for the expansion draft. Going into this, there is player protection. I may now protect my players from the expansion draft. You can protect a maximum of 8 players who are currently under contract and must leave at least 1 player unprotected. Choose a team from the drop down above to begin. Select a player in the list and then click the button to protect that player from the expansion draft. You also have the ability to undo the protection if you change your mind. If you have a second round pick available in the upcoming draft, you will see an additional button active. If you click that, you will offer your second round pick as an incentive for an expansion team to select that player. Click finalize when you have finished. Okay, we start with Jake Walker. We're going to protect him. We have De'Aaron Fox, the obvious next choice. Bagley, we want to hang on to him. That is our core talent. From there, Willie Cauley-Stein, next most important. Buddy Hield, Harrison Barnes, Thompson or Beasley probably be the next choice. Yes, yeah, Thompson. Think that is our selection of 8. It is. Bull not on this list, as he leaves us a bit short. I think these other guys, Phillips, Craig, no loss if they're taken. Bledsoe, yes and no. I mean, if they want to spend $20 million on Bledsoe, more power to him, I suppose. He doesn't have a ton of value for us other than being a solid backup, but at the age, at the salary, it wouldn't be a massive loss. I think Bull, if selected, would be a much larger loss. Bull was not someone I could renew until we get to the free agency period, in which case I'll offer him essentially whatever he wants, as I'd like to retain him. He shouldn't be that expensive. He'll be a lot more than the under $2 million that he was making, but I would imagine he'll still be well under 10. So Phillips, Craig, and Bledsoe at risk. I don't think I need to go into offering any sort of pick, and it looks like I actually don't have. Did I give up my second round pick? Alright, so here we go. The draft begins for the 2 expansion sides. The very first pick was Eric Bledsoe. Ooh, Seth Curry. Taken late on. Olenek. DeAndre Jordan. That's a big pickup right there. That's centerpiece of the Vegas Aces, but pretty weak roster otherwise. But we do lose our backup point guard, which leaves us with a pretty big hole at the moment. Expiring contracts, Phillips, Craig, nobody wanted them. Barnes expiring, we want to make sure we bring him back. Again, not tremendous as a player, but he's just 30 years of age and should retain his level. And again, if I could just shift him to power forward as the backup to Bagley, he would be a solid player. As a small forward, he wasn't that bad. But that definitely does hurt us a little bit. Hopefully the development of Jake Walker takes another step. Fox as well. Bagley, I mean, if we can get all three of those guys to 4 stars, that puts us in a really strong position. Patrick Thompson, if he develops into a 3-star player, again, there is somebody there between him and Heald that is either trade bait or can play that small forward position and hopefully give us Barnes and that I can get Bull back onto the roster for this next season. Jeff Green has retired. He was an expiring contract anyway, and I was not planning to retain him. But Jeff Green has retired after 14 years in the league. Also, our head coach, Luke Walton, his contract has run out. I may or may not bring him back. We're gonna ask it. We're gonna offer exactly what he's asking for. I know, we're going to go over budget. That's not even a first assistant at this point. Now, hold on. Before I go into any others, I need to go back and see. Evaluating offense is good. We need defense and potential. That's kind of our other fill-in. So defense and potential in our other coach. Defense and potential 6 million. Yeah, no, that's not very good. Vic Bryson. Pretty cheap. Vinny Del Negro, 0 years. 0? Really? Because I left the page, right? You're showing it 0 there. Okay. Tom Thibodeau, yeah, not a chance. We're not spending that kind of money. Kareem Tucker, though, could give us a real boost to the defense. Not the potential, but the defense. And be quite affordable. I think that could be a good option. Good way to go. Let's see. Any affordable options that have both? No, we're already dropping into useless. So if we want to go defense, we're not going to find potential as well unless we pay a lot. Derek Fisher. Fisher's going to give you a bit of everything. That's a pretty dang good first assistant, and he wants 5.5. I mean, that's not cheap, but that is quality kind of across the board. I don't want to quite offer him all that he's asking, though. Let's go 5.25. We'll offer him 3 years. I know. Oh, there we go. Resumed. It's showing Del Negro at the 5.2, but it's not where he's at. At least I hope that's not where they've got him at. Del Negro signed. Seattle. Good. And Derek Fisher. We got our 2 guys. It's a combined $13 million that we're spending on that. That puts us way over budget, but that is very much necessary. Overton Mitchell going to the Vegas Aces. And they got him pretty cheap, actually. Hornacek go to the Hornets. Luke Walton, head coach of the Detroit Pistons now. Vancouver have not signed their coaches. Vegas stepped out and got some guys on day one. Go ahead and finish off the period now that we are done with our signing. There's the Grizzlies, and it's going to be Byron Scott. And it's going to take over as head coach there. Also, Sean Sweeney is going to take over the head coaching job at Chicago, or in Chicago. Not great, but he is the last assistant. He is good for player development. You see, everybody is good for player development. Even I am up to an appropriate level. And speaking of, has that changed yet? Are we far enough into that new year? It looks like it has. So I'm now a 68 in evaluate offense. Defense is a 62. Potential a 54. Player development a 63. And strategy a 62. So from here, in just 3 seasons, I've gone to quite adequate around the league. I'm no longer the the pit of despair compared to everyone else. I'm very much not exactly a good GM yet, but I'm very adequate for the job, meaning there's plenty of others like me around the league. Let's check our key dates here real quick. It's been a while since I've taken a look at this. It's rookie combine time. Team workout, college draft over the next few days. Contract deadlines. And then we go into summer league. Free agency period is what's coming up before the training camp. And then we head into the new season. So, time for the rookie combine. Now, this is a good time to double check what is it that we have. 2022, we have a first and 2 second round picks. The first all the way down to the 25th. My record was that good. 2 second round picks, 62nd, 37th. That's not bad. From that, we might be able to trade up slightly, but not much. I think it's going to be more of we want that small forward and trade away these tools. We very much need a point guard, though, so I think I'm going to have to hang on to one to grab a point guard. 2023, we still have our pick and Detroit's second rounder along with our second rounder. And 2024, we still have our picks. So there you go. And that's what we have at our disposal currently. Not even on the page. Who do they have us drafting in the mock draft? Albert Dyer, small forward. No surprise that they've got us looking small forward. That is the big need, but I definitely need a point guard. And I'm almost nervous about wanting to pick up a point guard first. But if we say that the top 10, there's no way they're going to slip all the way down. So you're looking at Ben Russell and Desmond Sullivan slipping completely. I don't know, 9th could slip a ways. What do they have on Sullivan? They don't even have him on this list, do they? I've got some good staff now. Cooper, Dudley, Williams. There's Desmond Sullivan. Let's... How many... I forget how many we get. 18 invites. There you go. Ben Russell is supposed to be the top one. I think Desmond Sullivan at this point, we want to do a workout invite and put him on our draft board. Ben Russell. I really think we're just looking at 2 positions unless... I think I'm going to count on getting Bull back. So if that's the case, I'm looking at point guard and small forward and nowhere else. We definitely don't need any more shooting guards, that's for sure. So Ben Russell, I might as well do an invite just in case. Put him on the draft board, though. At this point, I actually think I might have Sullivan above him. I don't know. It's hard to say, right? Where they've got him, where we've got him. So, 3rd on the list for point guards is Derrius Davis. We've both got him as 3-star potential. And wow, look at that. There's only 4 players in this draft that are above 3-star potential anyway. It drops off really quick. So Derrius Davis. Stick to the point guard for the moment. Damon Hampton, 24th. That's 1 spot above us. So Damon Hampton could very well be somebody who is available at that point. Pretty iffy, isn't he? We'll take the invite. Chris Pangley. That's Gerald. Small forward. Well, hold off on him for a moment. Hold off. 1 step at a time here, my friend. 1 step at a time. Just like that he's from my alma mater. Getting a little excited. Could be a little bit of a gem. They like him. We like him. But where do they like him here? I haven't looked yet. At small forwards, I just caught my eye. Back to, I'm looking for Chris Pangley. Not showing up on this list currently, right? Alright, let's try it this way. Let's get all these point guards together. We do not rate Pangley high at all. Kenyon Prosser. We, for some reason, think he's going to be pretty freaking good right out the box. Okay. Put him on the draft board for now. Do the workout. And Homer is the last one that we rate highly, so we might as well take a look. Alright, that's it for point guards. Let's move on to small forwards, which means we're going to have to bypass shooting guards. Here we go. Small forwards. Marlon Whitehead. Okay. Okay, so we're going to start with you. We got Clausen. Pangley. Dyer. That's who they had going to us, right? Yeah. Gray. That's it for the 3 stars. Now, do we want to look at one that can already play? Somebody who's like a 2-2 and through them, through the last 7, get something? Or do we want to take a chance on some centers as we currently have just one on the roster? We do have those 3 picks, which means we could very well go down to a center at some point. And it's time for the draft. Welcome to the 2022 NBA draft. I definitely have some holes to fill, but of course we are pretty low down. We have 3 picks in all, 1 late in the first round, 1 early in the second round, and 1 later that round. The first 2 I'm certainly looking to do something with. I wouldn't mind trading a second round for a second round, just straight swap to next year, as I don't think I need to go beyond those 2 picks. But then again, we do have some holes in our lineup currently. Alrighty, well, let's get on with this. I've got the War Room, an offer trade, or the viewing show. Let's get into the War Room and see what is here. These are the guys that I had a look at. Let's start with the breakdown of these players. Mock draft. That's my draft board. I need to get my draft board ordered. These are the main guys that I'm looking at, but there is definitely some key players up here that need to go onto the draft board most likely and go to the top, or at least need to see if they're still available. Looks like there are some more quality choices than what was presented to me at the start. You can see like Gerald Pengeli. We rate him much higher. Bobby Clausen, another one that we rate much higher. Cole Williams, another good one. Andre Davis, Albert Dyer, both kind of picking up tempo how we see them over others. Welton Gray, another one. So you can definitely see that there are some bottom feeders here that did not turn out that we were having a look at. But there are a couple guys here, Andre Davis, Albert Dyer, that we see significantly better than the scouting department does around the league. Damon Hampton at least lives up to his billing a little bit. Weldon Gray looks okay. So kind of looking at 2 to 3 of these main guys. Of course, some of them are going to be going long before they get to us. Desmond Sullivan, Ben Russell, they'll be picked up very early on. If we're lucky, Darkus Davis, Marlon Whitehead, one of those two will be available. That looks like our best shot. And then after that, you got Bobby Clausen or Gerald Pengeli, if either of those are available. So first 4 guys on the board definitely need to be them, except that you've got Russell and Sullivan. So let's, there's like Russell. Can I reorder? I can't even reorder this, really? You know, after getting the results of scouting these guys, I'd like to do the reordering of my draft board, not being unable to do that. That's kind of silly. But those are definitely the 4 players that I'm hoping one of them will still be left when the draft gets down to us. I'm thinking about trying to trade up a little bit as we go along, give away something, a future pick or something, because again, we're very much on the verge. Let's go ahead and get to, I guess we can start the draft slowly here. In a surprise move, the Sonics move up 9 picks, taking the pick away from the Memphis Grizzlies in a deal involving a straight first-round swap, both second-round picks going to Memphis, along with 2 second-rounders in future years. 5 picks in all. Why? Because the Grizzlies have 4 players on their roster, and they only had 1 pick in this draft. They need bodies to fill that roster out. Meanwhile, we needed to come up because there is a good player available way down this list. Gerald Pengeli, out of Oregon, my alma mater. That was part of the motivation here. But our top guy, Gerald Pengeli, is still available. Small forward position we are desperate to fill. He was picked to go 6th in the draft, is still available this late. Weldon Gray, not the choice that they think he is still out there. Bobby Clausen, though, looks pretty decent, but my coaching staff is not very big on him. Gerald Pengeli, excellent defender, which is exactly what I want. And so we're going to select Gerald Pengeli with the 16th pick in the draft. Small forward out of the University of Oregon. In college, he was averaging 19 points per game, 4 assists, and 9 rebounds. Does a lot of things well. Outside of shot selection, he is well rated, well respected around, and I think he'll be a good contributor. He can be that small forward that we need. I think he's capable of being a starter. Eventually, he might be the second guy on that depth chart if we could find someone better, future moves, but he set us up pretty well in the short term to have a big impact. Now, what that does do for me is I now have that vacancy at point guard that we are going to have to use our mid-level exception to desperately go after a good point guard that's out there. And I definitely need to get Bol re-signed. If I could do those two things, I think we're going to be in pretty good shape for this coming season, especially when you consider that I was able to retain all 3 pieces that I have at shooting guard for now, and I can certainly do something there to go out there and get that piece we need, because we have Walker at shooting guard, but behind him I've got Buddy Hield, I've got Thompson, who played G League last year but probably will be as good as Hield this season, if not better, and then also Malik Beasley. So I've got 3 quality players. I can move 2 of them. Buddy Hield is certainly an option. I think Thompson is going to be a great reserve there. So Hield will be a good one to move on along with Beasley. And between that and the point guard, right? Between those 2 players as trade bait and our mid-level exception, filling one of those 2 spots, I think we could be right there on the verge of having the 2 deep roster we need to really start competing this season. But that's going to do it for my draft. We move on. We saw the first few picks. From there, we hammered out a few more. Damon Hampton. There's Clausen. So Clausen went pretty quick. There's a trade. Phil Miller, Parmer. There's Weldon Gray going to a bit early. There's Jazz picking up DeSantis, Dan Forrest, Albert Dyer going a lot earlier than I would have taken him to the Suns. And there was our pick. It goes to Chris Jenkins, center. Blackman, I'm surprised he slipped that far. Ed Davis going to the Aces. Wow, okay. Pangrazio. I was big on Pangrazio, but he just did not rate well. The Aces are going to take a chance on him. Our second pick, another center, Ronnie Moore. Trying to see if there's any big names that I was looking at that are slipping this far. And I'm not seeing any of these guys. Karcher, one that I looked at but did not rate well. Kevin Love going to the Aces for DeAndre Jordan. So their first pick is now gone, and they pick up Kevin Love. Dang, the Aces are making some big moves today. They've been very aggressive. And that's it. That's the end of the draft. I think we came away pretty good on this one. Yes, I lose a slew of second-round picks. But let's see, what did we get? In Gerald Pangoli right now is a 2-star guy. 2.5-star potential. Apparently he's already almost fully developed. Very much just a number 2. Dang it. This game. What are you doing to me? Well, our scouting ability still is mediocre. It's only adequate. No wonder Pangoli was slipping that far. Well, that's a real shame. He's definitely an improvement on Phillips and Craig. I'd like to have him as a number 2. Definitely not a starter, so that leaves me still with 2 voids to fill. Really unfortunate on that one. So free agency is obviously up next, and we have some contract decisions to make. Alright, let's see where we're at. Bull, unrestricted free agent. I definitely do not want to renounce the rights on him, though Caleb Swanigan, as sad as I am to see him go, I will be letting him go this year. Or should I? I don't know. Swanigan. I want to stick with Swanigan. Still hasn't reached his potential, but his potential is only 2 stars, and he is really close. No, he's not. He's still got some room to develop. But he's done nothing after all these years. I watched him as a rookie and went, this guy's gonna do something in this league. Sad to see him not develop in this game. I wonder if I should hang on to him for depth, though. And we're looking at 3, 6, 9, 13 with Bull and Swanigan and Pangoli. It's still too short of a max roster. We don't have any cap space other than the exceptions. And I'm looking to make a double move in likely, like Hieldon Beasley. Since we have Walker, and I presume that Patrick Thompson's going to be close to Hield's level this season. So trade those 2. Which actually frees up $30 million, but we're going to spend $30 million coming back the other way, right? With maybe a first-round pick or something between those 3 pieces, I'm sure we could get a pretty dang good small forward out there, which is why the mid-level exception would be good to use on a backup point guard. But then that leaves me no depth at power forward. So do I hang on to Swanigan then for now? And I probably do. I'm not going to renounce his rights. Phillips and Craig, obviously, they can be involved in whatever deal as well to help shore up money. Harrison Barnes then is the only one whose contract is up this year. And even though he is handsomely paid, I'm willing to pay him handsomely again to hang on to him, as the cap is certainly not a concern to me. But that's going to do it for this episode. The draft looks like it might have been a bust. Took a pretty big effort to make something happen there, and really displeased that it has not worked out. Still, at least, very pleased with Walker and Thompson. So we've had 2 good picks. The others have not worked out well for us in the first few seasons. Thanks for tuning in. I'll see you next time. Bye for now.